Like I've been saying, Russell Wilson's going to be the starter. The media was just trying to make a story out of absolutely nothing for this quarterback competition. And in the middle of it, I kind of was getting down on Justin Fields, talking about he doesn't even wash Russell Wilson's jockstrap, all this stuff. I mean, that was a little bit of trash talk because it's just all day, every day, the entire offseason when the coach straight up addressed it. So it shouldn't even have been a story. So the media was just trying to cause division, trying to fish for a story, trying to make something out of nothing. And you got to say, Justin Fields has handled this like a pro in the game, wasn't threatening no holdouts, wasn't out there saying, oh, I should be the starter, wasn't throwing name or shit or any shade on Russell Wilson's name. Russell Wilson didn't throw any shade on Justin Fields' names. They handled this competition completely professionally, and it just was what it was. Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer, bro. All right, we picked up Justin Fields for a 6th-round pick. He's not in the future plans for the Pittsburgh Steelers, never was in the future plans for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers came into the offseason essentially thinking that Kenny Pickett is going to be the starter next year. That is the idea that coming into the offseason. The idea wasn't that, well, the idea was, yeah, we're going to target Russell Wilson, but you're going to be targeting him. That doesn't mean he's going to put his name on the dotted line and lace up and come play in Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had options, many options. In Chicago, obviously didn't have that many options for Justin Fields. That's why we got him for a 6th-round pick, and now he's with us on a 1-year deal. And all the people saying, oh, Justin Fields has more upside. He has more upside. Of course he does. He's 23, but he's on a 1-year deal. He had an option left on his contract, and the Steelers declined that option. So they said, we're not even going to option you, dude. We're not even going to option you because you're not our option and you're not our first option. That's how it was. And how for these media, these professional media analysts, these quote unquote former players to sit there and squawk this bullshit story, that's just because that's what Massa's telling them to do, because that's what Massa's lining Massa's pockets, bro. So they're not speaking the truth. They're not speaking reality. They're speaking what Massa tells them to speak. That's exactly what they're doing, because there's no football mind that can sit there and tell you that Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is bad. That's what it's like. He does it. I mean, that's what I hate to say it because he's been a pro. He does have potential. He does have upside, but he doesn't wash his jock. His best season is not as good as Russell Wilson's worst season. Literally, Russell Wilson's been there, done that. You don't go, oh, he had a good throw. I could go out in the backyard and make a good throw without any pressure in my face, bro. Literally, it's totally different when you're getting pressure, when there's big 400-pound Neanderthals running at you, running a 4.3 40 speed, and you're bouncing around in the pocket like Justin Fields was bouncing around in the pocket like a scatterbrain, scared for his life, running for his life because he don't know where to go with the ball. He's not far along, and he's not on contract for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they don't owe him any loyalty, just like they don't owe Russell Wilson any loyalty. And both of these quarterbacks are on 1-year deals. So is this quarterback competition over? No, I don't understand. Now the media is like, oh, the quarterback competition's over. It's not over. I mean, and the stories are probably going to keep running. I mean, how long do you give Russell Wilson? I give him 4 games. Steelers are 1-3. You pull them. If they're 2-2, it just depends how bad he's doing. If they're 2-2, 3-1, you stick with Russ. 4-0, you stick with Russ. So I mean, it was his job to lose from the beginning. And do I think he's going to go out there and lose it? I just don't think he's going to go out there to lose it. I honestly think Russ got at least 2-3 more years left in the tank. The dude puts in a ton of work. The dude's just a complete professional, just like Justin Fields. They've been both very professional quarterbacks, but the Steelers owe none of them loyalty. The only thing the Steelers owe is themselves and to put the team in the best position to win. And that's what Russell Wilson does, is put the team in the best position to win. And now really it's on him to live or die. It's always been on him to live or die. This wasn't Russell Wilson. They're talking about the preseason. Like the preseason is some kind of debut for Russell Wilson to go out there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna earn my keep here. He's done earned his keep. And after this season, even let's just say he does get benched. Let's just say he gets benched and it's total worst case scenario for Russell Wilson. Motherfucker's gonna get at least, he's not done. He's going to play more years after this 1 year. That's his idea, and his future is to continue playing football. He's not done. He's not ready to hang it up. And he's going to be hitting the free agent market and trying to get another deal. And like I said, this wasn't his debut. So when he hits that free agent market, there's going to be a team out there that's going to shell him out. I'd say at the very minimum, let's say if he starts the whole season and has a Russell Wilson, just even like a mediocre game manager type of a season, that's all we really need out of Russell Wilson. 3,500, 25 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, something shitty like that. That's a lot of interceptions for Russell Wilson too. That's like a Daniel Jones season. That's a shitty Russell Wilson season. He's making $35 million per year. Per year. So Russell's far from done, and he's earned his due, and he's earned his keep. Justin Fields has not even thrown for 3,000 yards in his career. So that makes me say, shit, I've been saying, fuck, make Kyle Allen the backup. Let's put Justin Fields at wide receiver 2. Let's put him at wide receiver 3. Let's have sub packages for Justin Fields with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields on the field. Let's use his athletic ability to the best way they can. Let's use him for all he's worth, like a Taysom Hill 2.0. Put him out there at wide receiver, put him on some end arounds, run a little gadget plays like the Steelers used to do with former college quarterback Antoine Randall when he was throwing touchdown passes in the Super Bowl and shit in the Ken Wisenhunt offense. You can do all kinds of shit with Justin Fields. And to me, Kyle Allen is a better quarterback, a better mold, fits the system better for what the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to do than Justin Fields. He's a pocket quarterback. Steelers want a quarterback that's going to stand in the pocket and throw from the pocket. That's what the Steelers want. So yeah, Justin Fields brings all these intangibles, and he's this new age, new breed, revolutionary, changed the whole game, even though the game hasn't changed since Vince Lombardi's been coaching back in 1942 or whatever the hell they named the Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi trophy. It's still the same. You pitch it and get the ball in the alley, bro, and beat your man on man. That's what football is, man on motherfucking man. All right, and Russell Wilson's the best man for the job. All right, period. It's simple. It's not hard. It's easy. You just got to be able to beat your man. That's what it is. One-on-one, man-on-man, and all 11 guys working in unison, on time, on rhythm, and beating their man. One man fucks up, it takes the all. There it goes. One man's off assignment. That's the whole play right down. You got to be on. And that's another thing Russell Wilson's going to keep you on time, on rhythm, knows the plays, knows the cadence. And you could just tell. Just little things there's just a calmness in the offense. And the defense is off balance. Instead of Justin Fields being scattered in the pocket, the defense is off balance. They don't know if the run's coming. They don't know if the pass is coming. And Russell Wilson is in complete control. He's looking at you, smiling, knowing exactly what he's going to do before he does it. Shit, it gets to the point where he can tell you we're going to do it and you ain't going to do it because our men are beating your men down the field every play and we laughing in your face. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers football used to be all about. Smash mouth. We're going to run it right down your throat. Jam it right down your throat. And there ain't a goddamn motherfucking thing you can do about it. Except stack the box and try to stop the run. And then guess what's going to happen when you try to stack the box and stop the run and send an extra man to shut down our run? Russell Wilson's going to be standing there laughing and hitting George Pickens deep for 6. And now that the Steelers got a quarterback and that actually can run an offense, that actually can read a defense, can actually make checks at the line, this offense is going to look a lot better. I don't care what the stats show. Stephen A can come out here and talk about people being hoodwinked and bamboozled with his big-ass hairline, acting like he's a Steeler fan. but really he's just another puppet saying what Master tells him to say. That's all he is with his hairline up to here. You think Master would get him some plugs to fix that hairline? I don't know what's going on with Stephen A. All that money he's wearing in his Versace FO Sachi shoot, his FO Sachi shoot. He don't know what's going on, man. He don't even watch the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dudes from New York used to be rooting for the Giants when Skip Bayless was on the show. Now all of a sudden they're irrelevant. Now he's got to have Pittsburgh in his mouth, acting like a player agent 24/7 on ESPN just to get ratings, man. The Steelers aren't out there looking to win games in the preseason. The Steelers are looking to go 17, 18 games deep and make a fucking Super Bowl run. All right? That's what they're looking to do every year. So all these people talking about the brand's dead, the culture's dead, this and that. Bro, this is 20 years running without a losing season. It's about to be 21 years in a row without a losing season because of the way the Steelers build their team, the way they build their organization. They build it from the ground up. They build it internally, and that's how it is. That's why we've had a long line of outside linebackers all the way going back to hell. Kevin Green, when Dom Capers brought the 3-4 defense to the Steelers defense, and Greg Lloyd, on to Jason Gilden, on to Joey Porter, on to James Harrison, on to TJ Watt. Now it's coming down to Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig. I mean, that's the standard. It's just one man steps up and they follow in the footsteps of the next man after the next man after the next man after the next man. That's why you have the next man up mentality. That's why when Kevin Colbert stepped down, Omar Khan stepped up, who was with the organization for I don't know how long. All right, we don't really go with these outside hires, these big names like what like Ayuk. That was another story. Yeah, the Steelers are going to go out there, bring in some golden boy. They know, roll out the red carpet for some golden boy from San Francisco, California. Pay him $30 million and shit on every other player that's been with this organization their whole entire careers and have been dedicating themselves to this organization and what this organization's been doing their whole entire careers. But hey, we're not going to extend them. We're not going to extend Najee Harris. We're not going to extend Cam Hayward, who just won Walter Payton of the Year award. We're not going to extend Jaylen Warren. We're not going to extend a quarterback that we don't have on roster next year. That's why the premise of this whole video, Russell Wilson is the starter because he's the best. But we're going to roll out a red carpet for some pretty boy and pay him $30 million that doesn't even want to play for his team, that is in the conversation, is really in the as one of the best teams in the league. He's getting paid all this money and he's still unhappy. It's all about him. It ain't all about us. That's what the Steelers used to be about, and that's what really Russell Wilson I see more than anything since Antonio Brown, since Le'Veon Bell, since Big Ben, when it was all about the triple Bs. Now we're back to it's all about the fucking Steelers and it's all about us. So I don't care what nobody's saying. This is exactly where the Steelers want to be because now it really is all about us against the world. Just like back in the motherfucking day when nobody gave the Steelers a shot and the Steelers were a poverty franchise and Chuck Noll came in and turned the franchise around into the greatest the greatest franchise there is, that every fucking media puppet wants to talk about and slander and just make up stories for ratings all day to get clicks on their stupid articles. Well, it was all about them. That's when like I say in all my videos, when they came to the Steelers and said, "Do you want to be America's team?" The Chiefs said, "We're Pittsburgh's team, bro. Sorry." And that's how they build their team, in a Pittsburgh way. That's how they build their team from the ground up, internally, and they stay loyal to the people who earn it. And, Justin Fields has got to earn it. Russell Wilson has already earned it in his career, and that's what it is. You're not just going to, we're just going to not start a Hall of Fame quarterback. No, over this kid who has some potential. He does. So that's what I'm saying. Justin Fields has been a great pro, a great professional. That's the title of the video. Justin Fields has been nothing but a pro. So I guess we're going to end it on that. He's been nothing but a pro, has a ton of potential, and, he still has a chance to get in there and play for this team. Honestly, I say the best way is just add sub packages for him. Fuck even making him the backup quarterback. But hey, if Russell Wilson completely sucks, which I really don't think is going to happen. I mean, everybody wants to put his name down in the dirt. Like, if this was Ben Roethlisberger, and people were even trying to make like this into a competition right now between him and some, I don't know, it don't even matter who it was. There would be nobody in Pittsburgh down with that. So if Russell Wilson was in Pittsburgh his entire career and had that a story decorated resume, and the Steeler fans watched it their whole entire career, there would be nobody turning on Russell in Pittsburgh right now. That's the thing. He's a new man in. He's the odd man in. The media wants to make it like he needs to earn his dues and pay his dues in Pittsburgh, which, yeah, I mean, he does. But he's earned a spot. So does Fields. Who is Fields? He's a nobody off the street neither in terms of coming here. So we're going off pedigree. And the pedigree is clear. It's not a competition. But, hey, if Russell Wilson goes out there and fucks it up, the Steelers, oh, hey, that's exactly the point. They know him absolutely no loyalty. So it's on him to go out there and shine. And there really ain't no reason for him not to go out there and shine. The Steelers got one of the defense is going to be elite. The defense is insane. They don't want to talk about how dominant, especially the first series is when the defenses were in there. They were absolutely dominating. They would have won and destroyed that last game against who we played, the Bills. Whatever that last game was, we were dominating them. The Titans, we were dominating them. And then we took all the starters out way early. In the fourth quarter, we were putting in John Rhys Plumlee at quarterback, who didn't even make the roster and was never going to make the roster. They was just like, here you go, kid. It was like a Rudy situation where they said, go ahead, kid. You're going to make the practice squad. You're like our Rudy. Go out there and go on out there, Rudy. Give him something to cheer about, Rudy. That's all that was, because they didn't care about winning that game. But if we would have kept our starters in and the way our defense was dominating, all the Steelers had to do was turn around and hand it off. And the Steelers were dominating them up front. And that's what's going to be happening all year long. Because there's nobody that can, like I said earlier in the video, it's all about man on man. And the Steelers' front seven defensively, there ain't no front. I don't know if there's any offensive line that can stop them. I mean, that's the only way is they get off to a lead early and our offense is completely stagnant. But if Russell Wilson goes out there and gets us leads early, like he got us in that game, and gives the defense a little bit of insurance to bring the blitzes and run the disguises that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense likes to do, this team is going to be so dominant. And now that they got a punter, the special teams game's amazing. They got good return men. Just the special teams alone probably lost Steelers a game and a half last year. And Kenny Pickett was non-existent. The quarterback position was non-existent. I said before the season, if they could have just got 3,500 yards out of Kenny Pickett and 20 touchdowns, they win the fucking division. And if that was the case, the Steelers would have won the fucking division, okay? But he was utter garbage. I mean, garbage. Unlike Justin Fields. At least Justin Fields has potential. Pickett had no potential, no nothing. That's why he's like the fourth wheel in Philly. Probably, I don't even know if he made the goddamn team. Because he is garbage. Said it when he was drafted. He is a reach. Was nothing but a golden boy hyped up by the media, especially the Pittsburgh media. And now we got a legitimate quarterback who's easily, that's like the worst case scenario you're going to get out of Russell Wilson is 3,500. Best case scenario is 5,000. Imagine if we get Mr. 5,000 Russ. Shit, give us Mr. 4,000 Russ with 30 touchdowns. And you know he don't turn the ball over. He does not turn the ball over. He protects the ball. And that's the key with defense. You cannot turn the ball over. He gets sacked a lot, but Seattle's offensive line was terrible for years. Denver's offensive line was terrible. So in my opinion, this might be the best offensive line Russell Wilson has probably played. As bad as the Steelers' offensive line's getting it, which I think they're a lot better than the criticism they're getting too, because Kenny Pickett was the biggest issue last year, and the offensive line got to all the blame. Well, I really believe this is the best offensive line Russell Wilson has probably played behind in the last decade. The last decade, I'll say. Because the Steelers' offensive line's getting shit on, but they're better, way better than what the Mark Maddens of the world and all, especially the Andrew Filipponis and all those people that are pretty much invested in their narrative on Kenny Pickett being the golden boy, the next Dan Marino that they hyped him up to be. So who are they going to pass the buck off to? The offensive line. But if the offensive line's so bad, why is Jaylen Warren running for 1,000 yards in a season? Why is Najee Harris running for 1,000 yards in the season? Explain that one to me. It's because Kenny Pickett couldn't stand in the pocket. Kenny Pickett didn't know where to go with the ball. Kenny Pickett didn't know how to make a check at the offensive line. And then you throw Mason Rudolph, a guy that's been a pro in the game, a guy that actually can throw deep, a guy that actually's been in the league and can read a defense a little bit and actually have the balls and the confidence to make a check at the offensive line. You know, you see a whole different offense, a totally different offense. And not only that, we had Bonehead, Cue Ball, Matt Canada at offensive coordinator who didn't know how to call a play. He just basically said, hey, defense, we're going to run it on first and 10 every time. We're going to tell you we're going to run it on first and 10 every time, and that's what's going to happen. And they're going to stack the box, and they're going to stop the run because Kenny Pickett was too scared to make a check. There's so many times where Kenny Pickett should have seen the defense stacking the box, audibled out of it, sent Pickens deep, and it would have been an easy one-on-one matchup, and he would have took advantage of that. And that's shit Russell Wilson's going to do. That shit you just can't. That shit just comes with being in the league and doing it over and over and over again. And that's shit that Justin Fields don't got. That shit the Steelers don't have time to wait on for him to develop. That shit, well, at least with Kenny Pickett, he was a rookie on contracts. Okay, so we're going to give you time to develop within this rookie contract. And then we'll give you an extension if you do actually start to, by the 5th year, you show signs of progression each year. You progress this year. Kenny showed signs of regression. So it was amazing. We got Fields for a 6th and a 3rd for that bum Kenny. Omar robbed him, fleeced them both. And hey, it is what it is. To me, you got to use him. It's all about winning. I'd use him in packages. Make Allen the backup. And then go from there. Honestly, I'd want to see Russell get extended a year or 2. Best case scenario for the Steelers. And that's the best case. That's the best case scenario they could have had. I mean, what's the quarterback situation? Were we going to draft a guy again? I mean, they were expecting Kenny, so they're not going to waste another first-round pick. They'll just, if anything, if they didn't get Russell, if they didn't get goddamn Fields, it would have been a Mason-Kenny Pickett competition. They probably would have gave the money to Mason, and that would have been the competition. They were going to go out there and invest a whole nother first-round pick into a quarterback. They're just not. So if anything, they might not even draft a quarterback next year. Get Russ on a 2-year deal would be perfect, and then draft a quarterback, and then let him sit behind Russ 1 year. And then, boop, after that, you have all those other positions filled in that you need, and then that quarterback's ready to step up right into the reins. After he learned a year behind Russell Wilson, maybe that quarterback would be Drew Allar. That would be perfect out of Penn State. That's the reach, though. He'll probably be a top 5 quarterback, and the Steelers will never be able to get a hold of him because he's going to be the next great quarterback in the NFL, and he's probably going to win a national championship this year. So, that's who I would love to see the Steelers get. Nobody's talking about, but Drew Allar, his stats last year were amazing, and that's exactly what the Steelers need at quarterback. It's kind of a Russell Wilson type, I'd say. Very efficient, throws a lot of touchdowns, not many interceptions, and has some mobility and can extend the play. He's a little bit bigger, maybe not as fast, a little bit bigger, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, I just want to get some content up, talk about the season, talk about the quarterback competition. Steelers play Atlanta. They're a 3-point favorite, but I think their defense is garbage. Their offense got some talent, I ain't going to lie, but I think our defense just trumps their offense all day, every day. And then Russell Wilson should be able to pick apart this Atlanta defense. It should be easy money. I honestly could see a bludgeoning. I could see Pittsburgh crushing them. Vegas has Pittsburgh as the favorite, but if you pick on Yahoo, just regular fans voting, 64% out of like 10,000 people have picked the Steelers over Atlanta to take care of business. I'm surprised the line hasn't moved. That line might end up moving by Sunday. I could see the line being Steelers favored by 1.5 over Atlanta, or even pick 'em. Honestly, because they're better. They should win. They should handle business. Russell Wilson just go out there, give you the consistent Russell Wilson game that we know he's going to give you. 225, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and do what he does and walk away with the dub. And Steelers about to be back on track this year. This first 8-9 games of the season's easy money. They can't fold. They can't have those Tomlin games that they usually have. They gotta dig in deep. And in that last half of the season, everybody's making it like it's murderer's row. Oh, this last 7 games of the Steelers season is murderous row. They'll never make the playoffs. This murderer's row is the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, which to me, as a Steelers fan, that sure as hell looks like a cupcake to me. And the Baltimore Ravens, which shit, we've been bending Lamar Jackson over our fucking knee and spanking that ass the past 5 years. So that looks like just another little cupcake on the schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So shit, everybody's saying we're going to finish last. Shit, we handle business this first half of the season. I say the Steelers are going to finish first.